Hello and welcome back. You're now on the Entrepreneur Spotlight on the Weekend Show. I'm Chimelu, and today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic, which is the JAPA syndrome. Now, JAPA is a Nigerian slang that gained a widespread usage in pop culture. The term is used to describe the act of escaping or fleeing quickly from a situation, often in a hasty and urgent manner. And it recently evolved into describing the mass emigration of Nigerians to other first world countries. The number of Nigerians living outside Nigeria has almost tripled between 1990 and 2020 to about 1.7 million recorded persons, excluding refugees. A global attitudes survey indicated that 40% of adult Nigerians plan to leave the country within the next 5 years, with the most common reasons being the unfavorable socioeconomic conditions coupled with the increasing unemployment rates. Now, on the bright side, Nigeria's large number of diasporans in Western countries are a crucial part of the economic system. According to the World Bank, in 2021 alone, Nigeria received over $19 billion in remittances sent to friends and family from Nigerians in diaspora. And joining us on this topic today, we have two very distinguished guests. First of all, we have a returning guest from New York, USA, a HR consultant, Mr. Neme Moka. Good morning, Mr. Neme. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Also, we have Essay Anthony, a student studying her master's degree program in the United Kingdom. Good morning, Essay. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, let's start with you, Mr. Moka. Can you tell us what your perception of life abroad was before you quote-unquote JAPA'd, and what it is currently now, according to your observations?
Well, I don't know, how do I start with this? My perception in terms of anything. Well, what I would say is the movies did an excellent job in terms of like branding the Western countries and everything like that. I mean, if you watch some of these movies, they project life as easy peasy. I remember, are we still on the call?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I remember when I relocated, or Japa as we are calling it now, the uncles came over to the little apartment I was sharing with a friend, and he literally gave me broom and a packer. He said, so Neme, you've been bothering me for money every single day, so maybe you should enter the streets and start sweeping. So, the movies usually project living in the Western world as such an easy life. They also projected like there's a lot of like community of support. Uh, there's so many friends, there's associations, their families and everything like that. The perception I also had was there are no beggars on the street. I mean, rarely would you watch movies where we have like a colony of beggars and people and people that come from like shacks, lack of a better word. Uh, um, Even religion also, I thought that was a big deal because if you realize that it was the West that literally brought religion to Nigeria, right? So these are all the things that I had, like when I literally traveled, and so it has pretty much like changed since I got here.
Interesting perspective. Now let's come to you, Essay. In order to get a balanced view of things, it was intentional for me to get a guest who has been in diaspora for over a decade, and then there's you who just recently traveled. So I'd like to know what prompted your decision to travel out, and how was your experience of the process, the traveling process in general? How easy was it?
Oh, hello, can you hear
I
me?
can hear you very clearly.
Well, what prompted my reason for travel is for educational reasons. I traveled for educational reasons, yeah. And for me, I would say it was well planned and calculated, and everything was done easily for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, so just on time. If you do your documentations, please, and use right documents.
It's very important to be to have a legal status, in diaspora in order to escape all those unfavorable and unpleasant situations involving immigrations, the police, and other citizens of the country where you're at. So I want to come back to you, Mr. Moka. What would you say? There's a lot of pressure, like you said, on Nigerians in diaspora to send money home. It's a big deal. There's a lot of stories of families selling their assets, landed property, real estate, to send their first child abroad to start raking in the dollars. I mean, according to the World Bank, recently, in 2021, Nigeria recorded the highest amount of international remittances from Nigerians in diaspora, which grossed up to almost $20 billion. So what is your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion on that is for families that want to sell off all their assets to send their kids abroad. One of the things I would say is, one, there is a big gulf in terms of the person getting settled in, because if you're taking someone overseas, their goals take a 3 to 4 year hit before they can get established, get settled, get the right education, get the right things, start working, and being able to fend for their families. And even based on the World Bank report, I don't think that data is 100% accurate, because I think Nigerians, because of the number of people that have sort of like moved to Western worlds and everything like that, I think we send money like on a daily basis to support friends and family and all that. So I'm not shocked that the amount gets up to $20 billion a year, because all we have to do is just to constantly support our family. The reason why we is basically to seek better lives, seek better opportunities for ourselves, and try to work and also send back to friends and family back home. But however, if a family is focused on selling off all their assets and sending someone overseas, what I will advise them is they have to give this person time to get settled, to assimilate with the culture, understand the moving parts, being able to learn the necessary skills, because some of the skills that we have in Nigeria are not easily transferable to, especially here in the States. So you have to give them a little bit of time to get all their documents in a row, get everything going before they're able to sort of like pay it back for all the money we spent sending them overseas.
All right, thank you so much. Now, Essay, I would like to ask you, what was your biggest culture shock ever since you got into the United Kingdom?
It's the organization for me. The system here, since I got here, it has not been long. I just got here. I've not stayed for long. But what I can see, that there is organization here.
So the system works. It's more organized than what you have over here, right?
It's more organization here.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Now, finally, Mr. Moka, on a lighter note, there's this perception that Nigerians just glow up whenever they travel out. They just look finer and brighter. Their skin just pops when they travel out. And there was a trend recently on Instagram where they do pictures taken in Nigeria and pictures taken after you jackpot with the same phone, and you can clearly see that it looks like even the camera quality is different, like the air is different or the sky is different. So what's your take on that? What do you have to say about that trend?
Well, the trend, I think it comes from the weather, actually. And the truth is, in fact, I'm going to switch over to my Nigerian mindset. Nigeria, they stress us. So here, when you have, and like my colleague Essie mentioned, like the organized government and everything like that, system that works. Imagine you waking up, you're not worried about your electricity, you're not worried about security, you're not worried about a lot of things. And then you have an excellent or a good weather condition that sort of like constantly makes your body feel a whole lot softer with good camera background and everything like that. That also helps in terms of anything. So that's one. The opportunities also help in terms of anything, because there's a better quality of air. There's so many things that contribute to the stress that we face, right? And so by the time you add all of these things, the weather, the working government, the organization, in like Essie mentioned, in terms of like all the facilities, the amenities, everything working on time, and all that. That contributes to it, and all, and also even food as well. I mean, there also like a variety of different meals, because the beauty of going to all these countries is like you have, what will I call it, is multicultural, and from people from different parts of the world. You've got the Indians, the Chinese, you've got the Spanish, you've got different people coming with different cultures. So by the time you mix up with it, with all these different people and everything like that, that also adds to you having a better, what will I call it, outlook, or having a better look in
Interesting.
your, that's basically it.
Wow, thank you so much for these insights. Thank you so much, Mr. Mocha, and thank you so much, Essay. We hope to see more of you on subsequent episodes of The Weekend Show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Welcome. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, it's a wrap on the Entrepreneurial Spotlight, but don't go anywhere. We still have other segments coming up right after the short break. I'm Tanda Chimelu. Do have a great weekend.